think as a kid, you always dream of finding buried treasure, and for me being a Pokemon card collector, I think I always dreamed of finding the ultimate Pokemon card collection at like a flea market, or maybe an abandoned storage locker, which is basically exactly what happened to my friend Sam. This story is so insane and so hard to actually believe, I thought if I actually told the story you wouldn't believe me, so I've called my friend Sam, he's graciously hopped on an interview today, and this video is literally so goosebump inducing, so spine chilling, you're gonna need to sit down. And without further ado, this is my interview with Sam, aka Holo Pokemon, who made the biggest storage locker Pokemon find in human history. Alrighty guys, so I'm here joined by none other than Sam, aka Holo Pokemon. Everyone welcome him, give him a nice warm welcome down below. But this is probably the craziest story anyone's ever gonna hear, so please sit down in your movie chairs, get your big bowl of popcorn, and without further ado, my man who got the Instagram name Holo Pokemon, somehow, the greatest name ever, I'll let him take it away with the story. Put everyone in your shoes on the day that you got the message that someone had this storage locker that could potentially have stuff inside of it.
So I've been collecting since around 2017, and primarily what I do is I just check all my, online marketplaces looking for different cards. And, ever since then I've been just buying out little things here and there, and, it all kind of led up to the middle of 2019 when I got reached out to by a man who told me that he had a bunch of old Pokemon product in the storage locker, and he said that there was, cards from every different language the base set was released in, and he had boxes, and he had packs, and he had theme decks, and, he had toys and everything. And so, I was really excited to receive that message, but, part of me was thinking it might be too good to be true. But, one rule that I have for myself is that I try to follow through on every single lead that I get so that, nothing goes undiscovered. And started getting really excited, and I told the guy that I was interested, and he let me know that, he was going to have to take some time to head out to a storage locker and kind of move some boxes around and just ensure that he still had everything. And, I was really eager, and I could tell that he could have probably used a little bit of help since he was an older gentleman, and why not go help? And so I offered to go meet him out there. And then so one evening we both met out there, and, he started, he threw open the door, he started bringing a couple boxes out, and it was just a total complete, just jungle of cardboard boxes in there. It looked pretty intimidating, but after a few boxes he pulled out, he finally, opened one up, and then sitting there was, at least 6 booster boxes, and, a ton of theme decks and loose cards and packs.
Hey everybody, how's it going on? Sam here, also known as Holo Pokemon. Never done a vlog style video before, but figured today might as well be the day to film a little something so that I can look back on this later and remember if this went dope or not. So basically, I was put into contact with this guy who says that he has a bunch of old Pokemon stuff, first edition, and in multiple different languages, and sealed packs, and potentially sealed boxes, and an uncut fossil sheet, and all this sort of thing. All these sorts of things. And so now in about 10 minutes here, once I pick Cena up, I'm gonna head over to the storage facility where he says that all this stuff is being kept, and I'm gonna take a look and see what happens, see if the stuff's legit, see if he's interested in selling it for a price that we can agree on, and maybe I'll look back on this as a super sick memory. But until we get over there, that's all for now. Hopefully I'm gonna film a little bit while I'm there, but not enough to make the guy feel weird. And see you then.
Unreal. Okay, so you're a couple booster boxes in. You at this point, are you pretty confident you found the greatest thing of all time?
Yeah, I was trying to keep it cool. I was really excited, and but there was still a lot of work to be done. There was a ton of boxes to go through, and I would have been happy to just find that first box, but I felt it was my destiny as a collector to make sure that I found every last thing that was in that unit.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Okay, so then you took out the first 2 boxes, and then it was what's in the rest of them?
So then he continued to pull out boxes, and at this point I was actually starting to help because there were so many boxes. I was pulling out stuff, and we started finding just boxes full of binders like this one. These vintage.
Yeah, wow.
Pokemon binders.
I mean, that binder alone is worth money, let alone the cards inside of it.
Yeah, so we just started pulling out, just boxes and boxes of binders like this, and they were really cool because they were organized organized by set, and here we can see that he had all the pack arts for each language, and then you would get into it. Yeah, you'd get into it, and then I pulled out all the holos and the non-holo rares to kind of like, preserve their condition. But here we can see the rest of the, unlimited or first edition non-holo, like Chinese first edition base, and then here we have like the unlimited and so on and so forth.
That is insane, man. I can't believe that. Like, so the guy that you're sorting through the storage locker with at the moment, the bit of a backstory on him, he was like a collector back in the day, yeah?
Yeah, so he told me that he originally got into the hobby after his kids started getting into like what people refer to as like Pokemania in 1999-ish. And so, when his kids started collecting, he got really into it and kind of started to see it as a hobby. And he let me know that, he made contacts with a ton of distributors. And, while he was never a distributor himself or a card shop owner, he had a bunch of connections, and he was able to, amass this awesome collection of, different languages that normally would not have been available in, in the US at that time.
All right, so you start pulling out, you've got boxes, this man's a collector. You've pulled out a couple of first editions of all sorts of languages, a couple of binders that are full of stuff. Is there anything else of note that you found in there that wasn't a sealed booster box or a binder full of cards?
Yeah, so on top of all that stuff, he had a bunch of like toys, and so I just pulled out a few of them here. Here we have like a marble launcher.
Whoa, I remember this. That's unreal. Yeah.
Yeah, so these are awesome, and then we've got like a couple different of like the mini like tech deck like skateboards.
Yep.
And then just a bunch of random stuff like playing cards here, and then like little Lobster Keychain, and so just he had a ton of just like random merchandise type products on top of all the like loose cards and sealed product.
Dude, that is fantastic. All right, so you've like about like, what do you say, 3 or 4 hours have gone past at this point, and you've figured out, wow, this is all of these booster boxes, cards, binders, toys. What do you do from there? Do you load it in your car, take it all home that night, or you're like, we got to come back tomorrow and I got to keep sorting through the stuff?
So, like I kind of mentioned, we were actually doing quite a bit of work while we were there to help the man, because he mentioned that he kind of wanted to start getting some shelving set up and kind of the boxes organized. So while we were finding Pokemon stuff, we were actually organizing his storage unit. And so after 3 or 4 hours, I pulled out as much stuff as I could take with me in my car, and it was honestly 5 or 6 full tubs worth of stuff, and that wasn't quite all of it, but we told him that we'd come back on the second day to continue setting up the shelving and finishing up organizing his storage unit, and then on that other day I was able to take the rest of the Pokemon product.
Okay, so like it's all loaded in the car, you're about to say goodbye to the guy, and I think something that we should preface as well, it wasn't a situation like you see on those TV shows where you buy a storage locker for $100 and you get everything inside for $100. It was like you mutually agreed on like a really decent price that was fair for both of you guys, and you didn't totally slam into the floor, did you?
No, yeah, so, I was, at the end of the whole night, I started talking price with the guy and kind of wanted to feel like, what he was thinking about pricing, and so, I was thinking there was way too much stuff to kind of put a price to everything and add it all up, so, he told me to just offer him a ballpark price, and I offered him whatever I could that wouldn't make me eat ramen for the next month. And so he was really happy with my offer, and we both left there pretty happy.
So you guys are probably looking at his collection right now, and you're thinking to yourself, what is on that table? Well, my man has actually, for an exclusive for today's video, so this is the only video where you can see it, and I don't know, there might be more on his Instagram, so by all means, as I said, follow him down below. But for now, on YouTube, he's actually gone down to the bank, taken out some absolute big hitters that you've already seen a few of, but do you want to run us through a couple of things on that table? I see a few like starter Charizards and Venusaurs and a few booster boxes.
Yeah, man, so I think the most representative thing of the entire lot would probably be all these first edition starters and all the different languages. And so if we start over here, we have both the unlimited Chinese and first edition Chinese variants. And for those of you that are pretty familiar with vintage Pokemon product, you'll know that the Chinese printing of the base set was extremely limited and is now, as a result of that, extremely rare. And following down the line here, we've got first edition German. and first edition Spanish over here, unlimited Spanish here, first edition French here, and then first edition Korean. And there were more, I've got bits and pieces of it laying around, but as of right now, that's what I put together for the video.
No, that's fantastic. And I remember you saying before we jumped on this call that the Chinese basic cards, I didn't know any of this, the Chinese basic cards you have are like the rarest form of like a Charizard base set that you can find or something?
Yeah, I would say that that's true. I mean, the pop report on PSA kind of reflects that, and just the overall number of Chinese unlimited and first edition products in general is just extremely low. There are still Pop Zero Chinese cards out there on the PSA set registry.
No way, is it really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there are Pop Zero Chinese cards that still have yet to be graded in PSA 10s.
Unreal. Alright, so like you've got all the starters and all holos at the front. That's absolutely unreal. What are we looking at the back? Like I'm looking at some standing up cards that look pretty gnarly.
Yeah, so, I mean, normally I keep all my Charizards on these displays here, but since we're talking about the find, I wanted to kind of feature some of these Topps cards. But first I'll talk about these two Japanese Charizards here. So these are original Japanese Charizards. They aren't from the CP6 reprints.
Yeah.
Here we have a 10, which is just obviously awesome, and then we have another 9. And, these were both found together. I graded them together, and was really happy to have, both of them turn out, mint. And on the other stance here, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the Topps Chrome cards. Not a lot of people really know about Topps Chrome or give them the respect they deserve in a way.
Yeah.
And so here we've got a Topps Chrome PSA 10 Eevee Techno Foil.
Dude, that is like, that's single-handedly the greatest shining. I can already see the shine on the camera, and I can tell the audience in the comment section will love that, because you guys, like, #1 favorite Pokemon by far is like Charizard, then it's Eevee. I know there's so many fans. So the fact you have that in like the Eevee form with that reflective foil, I know people are going nuts over that one.
Yeah, so that Eevee is just awesome, and it's one of my favorite parts of the collection. And, you might be able to see some of these I have listed on eBay at some crazy prices, but those are mostly just so that, like, the exposure gets out there and people become aware of the cards.
Yeah.
And so...
I'll link your eBay down in the description as well for people that want to potentially buy, like, certain stuff you have for sale.
Sure, yeah. And so here we have a PSA 10 Gengar Sparkle Chrome.
Wow.
Yeah. And so just to give a little bit of background on the rarity of the Topps Chrome cards, they're not to be confused with the normal Topps foil Pokemon. These are like a specific set called Topps Chrome. And just to put it real quickly, there's 3 different varying levels of holos that you can pull in there. There's just like the standard foil. Every card comes standard foil. And then 1 in every 2 packs, you have a chance of pulling a Spectrochrome. 1 in every 10 packs, you have a chance at pulling one of these Sparkle Chromes. And then 1 in every 15 packs, you have a chance at pulling the Technochrome. So in an entire booster box of cards, you're only going to get, 2 Technochromes, so that it just brings the rarity way up. So these are all PSA 10 Sparkle Chrome cards, and, I've got a handful of these, and these ones are just incredible, awesome condition, and just the fact that he had so many Sparkle and Technochrome cards pulled, and that they were all in packed fresh condition, and able to achieve PSA 10s was just awesome, and I really love that about this collection.
All right, do you want to talk about you can either go the booster boxes to your I guess your left right there, or that one right in front of you I'm looking at, that weird like standout item?
Yeah, so I'll talk about this. This is actually the very first Pokemon product ever released in the US. If I'm not mistaken, I'm fairly certain that this is the very first one. This is a demo pack that was given out at card shops for free to kind of like introduce people to the game. And, I found this in the collection, and I had it sent off to PSN to get authenticated and encapsulated. And, I don't really care too much about the grade on this one, just because I wanted it to be, encapsulated forever. But it did manage to pull the PSA 10 grade, so, you can't be mad about that.
Alright, man, then last but not least, I see some booster boxes, Neo booster boxes, I think, if I can, yeah, that's it, they're Neo booster boxes. What are those doing there? Did you find those in the collection, or?
So, no, I did not find these in the collection, but I decided to include them as part of the video today to kind of show, like, what I've been doing with some of the money that I've made off some of the cards that I've sold.
Yeah.
A lot of these cards that I found, they're super awesome, but they don't really fit with my personal collection and my goals as a collector, so, while I've kept, an extreme amount of the collection, there are cards that I have created and sold off to, the different people that were interested in these cards from the different countries that these languages originate in. So, for example, I've sold off almost all of the first edition German cards to a guy in Germany, all the first edition Chinese cards to a guy in Taiwan.
So like all of these cards you ended up getting out of the garage that were ungraded, you went and got them graded, then you sent them back home to where they originally came from, so they were printed, and then they were distributed in China, you got them graded, sent them back to people in China, so like it's a wholesome 360 story in the end.
Yeah, and I feel like it worked out really well. I've made a lot of people, happy with the stuff that I found in the collection, was able to send back to them, and with that money, being completely transparent, I just invested back into the hobby from other people that were selling stuff to keep the hobby moving, and ultimately I feel like it worked out really well.
I think fans will love that, man. I think that's such a perfect way to... I couldn't ask for a better story, Like, it's not like you found all this stuff, flipped it all, bought a Lamborghini, but you went and bought some, nice booster boxes that, are probably going to be worth more than a Lamborghini one day, which is unreal.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for being interested.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
My Instagram is just Holo Pokemon. No numbers or characters or anything, just HOLO Pokemon. And, feel free to come over there and follow me. I try to post pictures, every couple days or so of just whatever I've acquired recently or something that I might be selling. And, I try to keep my page really fun and clean and, not a ton of spam or giveaways or anything, just really good content over there. And if you'd like to check out my eBay, it's the same username. It's just Holo Pokemon. And, while this isn't a plug to try to sell things on my eBay, maybe check out it over there and see what I got for sale. And feel free to send me a message on either platform. I'd be happy to talk about the hobby or just whatever you might have to ask.
Hands down, one of the most chilling or goosebump-inducing stories I've heard in a long time.